Myself, Srijan Banerjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering of Gargi Memorial Institute of Technology. Today I will discuss about frequency response and stability of a discrete time system. Frequency response is just similar to continuous time system. The frequency response of a discrete time system can be determined when the system is subjected to a sinusoidal input. Let we consider the transfer function of the discrete time system is Gz is equal to Yz by Xz, where Yz is the Z transformation of the output function and Xz is the Z transformation of the input function. And if we consider the input function as a sinusoidal response, and that input function is suppose Xz is equal to sine omega k, where omega is the frequency of the sinusoidal sequence. Similar to the continuous time system, the response of a sinusoidal will have the form of Yz is equal to y into sine omega k plus phi. Thus, the frequency response will be determined by finding the magnitude of y and the phase difference phi. For getting the frequency response, the Z transfer function is to be converted to frequency domain transfer function by substituting Z is equal to e to the power j omega. Thus, we can easily find out the value of g of e to the power j omega. G of e to the power j omega have two part. One is magnitude and another is phase angle. So we can write g of e j omega, e to the power j omega is equal to mod of g of e to the power j omega and angle g of e to the power j omega. So y is equal to g of e to the power j omega into x of e to the power j omega. So if we consider these things, then we can write g e j omega into sine of omega k plus angle g of e to the power j omega. So to find out the frequency response, the magnitude y and the phase difference phi can be determined for the above equations. Let for a first discrete time system, the transfer function can be defined by Gz is equal to Yz by Xz is equal to 1 divided by Z minus A. To get the frequency response, if we substitute Z by e j omega, e to the power j omega, then the frequency transfer function can be written as g of e to the power j omega is equal to 1 divided by e to the power j omega minus a, that is equal to 1 divided by cos omega plus j sin omega minus a. So we can, if we rearrange this equation, then we can write 1 divided by cos omega minus a plus j sin omega. Thus the frequency response is given by mod of g e to the power j omega is equal to 1 divided by square root of cos omega minus a whole square plus sin omega square. So that means the first one is the real part and the second one is the coefficient of the imaginary part. And the angle, we know that the angle g of e to the power j omega is equal to minus of tan inverse sin omega divided by cos omega minus a. Stability of a discrete time system. The stability concept and the definition used in connection with continuous time systems are directly applicable for a discrete time system also. Like continuous time system, the discrete time systems also have to satisfy notions of stability. The stability of a discrete time system is basically two types. One is zero input stability and another is Bibo stability. Initially relaxed system is said to be Bibo stable for every bounded input Rk and output Yk when the value of k is always greater than and equal to 0. For a linear time variant system is said to be Bibo stable when the summation of gk within the range of k is equal to 0 to infinity is always less than infinity, then that time invariant system will become a Bibo stable, where gk is the response of the system to a unit sample sequence or impulse, the impulse response. For the mapping of the s-plane poles on the z-plane by z transformations, we can observe basically 3 points. Number 1, if s is equal to j omega, then the point of the s-plane is always lie on the imaginary axis. So r is equal to 1. Thus, s is equal to j omega corresponds to the point on the unit circle. So in the first picture, we can observe that cases. Number 2, in the second one, in the second picture, we can observe that if all the points are lie in the left hand side of the s-plane correspond to that points inside the unit circle. And in the third picture, we can see that if all the points are lie in the right hand side of the s-plane correspond to that points inside the unit circle. Thus, with reference to the continuous time system, it can be concluded that a discrete time system will be stable if all the roots of the characteristics equation lies inside the unit circle. According to the pole placement, the system stability is 3 types. Number 1, asymptotic stable system. Number 2, marginally stable system. And number 3, unstable system. Asymptotic stable system. All poles lie inside the unit circle, or what is the same, all poles have magnitude is less than 1. In the first diagram, we can see the response for the asymptotic stable system. Number 2, marginally stable system. One or more poles but no multiple poles are on the unit circle. In the second diagram, we can see that the marginally stable response for a system that is a very oscillating nature. Then unstable system. At least one pole is outside the unit circle, or there are multiple poles on the unit circle. So in the third diagram, we can see the response for the unstable system. Initially it is a stable one, but gradually when the pole is shifted outside from the unit circle, then it will become oscillated and unstable. The stability areas in the complex span are shown, we can see in this diagram. Jury stability criterion. The Routh-Hurwitz criterion is used to determine if any roots of the characteristics equation of an LTI continuous time system are in the right half of the S-plane. Similarly, for LTI discrete time systems, the Jury's criterion is used to judge the stability. In applying the Jury stability criterion to a given characteristics equation delta z is equal to 0, we construct a table whose elements are based on the coefficient of that delta z. Take a general equation of del z that is equal to a0 z to the power n plus a1 z to the power n minus 1 plus a2 z to the power n minus 2 plus up to a n minus 1 z plus a n when a0 is always greater than 0. In the Jury stability table, in first row we can see that we just put the coefficient of z0, z1, z2 accordingly up to zn, and in the second row we just take the coefficient opposite to of the row 1. That is, in row 1 it will start from the coefficient of z0, and in the second row we just start from the coefficient of z to the power n, and in third row the term is b. First term is b of n minus 1, then b n minus 2, b n minus 3, so on. So what is b n minus 1, b n minus 2? Actually these things we have to calculate from the above two rows. To construct the Jury stability table we have to consider some rules. Number 1, the table consists of 2 n minus 3 rows. For second order system, the table has only one row. For each additional order, 2 additional rows are added to the array. Rule number 2, the first row is constructed from the coefficient of the characteristics equation in ascending order. Number 3, elements of each of the even numbered rows are the elements of the preceding row in reverse order. Number 4, the elements of row 3 through 2n minus 3 are determined by the following determinants. Suppose bk is equal to determinant of an minus 1 minus k, a0 and a of k plus 1 when k is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1, and ck is equal to b n minus 1, a n minus 2 minus k, b0 and b k plus 1 when k is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 2, and qk is equal to p3, p2 minus k, p0, pk plus 1, and the value of k is 0, 1, 2. And number 5, the last row 2n minus 3 has 3 elements. The necessary and the sufficient conditions for delta z to have no roots on and outside the unit circle in the z plane are: number 1, delta 1 is always greater than 0. Number 2, delta of minus 1 is greater than 0 for the even value of n, and del minus 1 is less than 0 for odd values of n. Number 3, mod of an is always less than mod of a0. And number 4, bn minus 1 is greater than b0, cn minus 2 is greater than c0, so on. Jury step may be applied in the following manners. Number 1, first we have to check the 3 conditions. If any one is not satisfied, then we have to stop on that conditions. And number 2, construct the array and check the conditions as each row is formed. Stop if any condition is not satisfied. Now we are considering one numerical to observe the stability of a system by Jury stability criterion. So the given question is, determine the stability of a discrete time system described by the following characteristic equation using Jury stability criterion. The equation is del z is equal to z cube minus 1.2 z square minus 1.375 z plus 0.25 is equal to 0. So now to comment on the stability for these systems, we have to go for the Jury test. For the Jury stability criterion, there are basically 3 conditions. So first condition is del 1 is greater than should greater than 0. So if we consider our system for these conditions, then del 1 means the value of z is 1. So the value of our system will become del 1 is equal to 1 minus 1.2 minus 1.375 plus 0.25, that is equal to minus of 1.325, which is less than 0. So our system is not satisfying the first conditions. The second condition is del of minus 1 is always greater than 0 when the value of n is even, and the value of del of minus 1 is less than 0 when the value of n is odd. So in case of our system, if we put the value z is equal to minus 1, then del of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 minus 1.2 plus 1.375 plus 0.25 is equal to minus of 0.575, which is less than 0. So for this case our system is satisfying the condition 2. If we go for the third conditions, in third conditions is an is should always less than a0. An means the final coefficient and a0 is the coefficient, first coefficient. That means a0 is the coefficient of, for our system a0 is the coefficient of z cube and an is the coefficient of z0. So from our system we can find out that a0 is equal to 1 and a3 is equal to 0.25. So we can see that a3 is less than a0, which is satisfying the condition 3. So as we know that for the stability the system should satisfy the three conditions. If any of these three conditions will not satisfy, then the system is not stable. So for this case, as we can see that our system is not satisfying the first conditions, so we can say that our system is not stable.